Boo. What's up, everybody? My name's Bimler, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new Justice album, Hyperdrama. Before we start the review, I want to get something off of my chest. I've not really been into Justice, ever. In fact, I didn't know they existed until this album came out, or at least was starting to come out, because they ended up releasing 2 singles, including feature Kevin Parker from Tame Impala. And they come from a genre of music I'm not necessarily familiar with, French house, dance, even disco-y at times. Think Daft Punk sorta deal. When those 2 singles came out with Tame Impala, I didn't listen to them because I didn't know who Justice was. And I was still familiarizing myself with Tame Impala's discography. I'm actually a big fan of his. But once this album fully came out, and I was already fully done getting into Tame Impala, people were saying that it was pretty good, so I finally decided to bite and give it a listen. Now, something I've been hearing about this record that's really consistent throughout almost every review of it is that it's their best thing since their first album, Cross. And I didn't know if this was true because I hadn't listened to Cross. So in between listening to that album and listening to this review, I actually did listen to Cross. And I gotta say, I'm not entirely sure I agree. Cross had a lot cooler ideas on it. A lot of its sample work was more interesting, punchy, you know. But overall, I think Hyperdrama is almost a bit more of a consistent work than Cross. So I might actually enjoy this one more. But we're reviewing Hyperdrama. What did I think of Hyperdrama? I actually really enjoyed it. I mentioned both Tame Impala features on this record. First one is the opener of the album, Neverender, which is one of my favorite songs on it. I feel like Tame Impala's voice is just perfect for Justice. The sound on this record, he could have slid onto any song, and it just works. I'm a little biased, I love Tame Impala, but what he does on this record is great. The other song he features on, One Night/All Night, is also a good song, but I definitely prefer Neverender. Nothing to do with Tame Impala's performance, I just think Neverender's a much more engaging song. And that's another thing that sets this album apart for me, is there's a lot of features on this record as well. One of which makes up track 3, Afterimage, which I think is one of the more forgettable cuts on the record, but by no means is it bad. I actually enjoy coming back to this one as a bit of a refresher. But I think especially what makes it a bit more forgettable for me is track 2, Generator, which is just this really punchy instrumental track that just works on this record. It definitely harkens back more to that Cross era because of its more choppy sound, aggressive feeling. Something I want to say about this record, and especially about the song Generator, is that this album feels incredibly clean. The production on it is great, almost too great at times, as I think that's actually one of the big things that drags down Generator, is because I just feel like it's begging to hit harder, but the production on it just keeps it from doing so a little bit, because of just how smooth everything is. It doesn't necessarily ruin the song, but it does feel like a little bit of unused potential here. However, somewhere the clean production really does help is the song Dear Alan. The fuzzy synths around the 40-second mark are just feels great. The little sample bit at the end where it does the ba 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 thing and then like speeds up, goes crazy with a breakdown. Fantastic. I love it. There's a couple other good cuts towards the middle of the album. I really like the funky feelings of Incognito, as well as the awesome vocals of Mannequin Love. To tie it back to Tame Impala again, it kind of sounds like that one part of Let It Happen if it was an entire song. And I mean that in the best way possible. I think it's great. It's an earworm. And then around the middle point of the album, we have a bit of a break with the interlude Moonlight Rendez-vous, which I actually love this song. I don't know what it is. This song just makes me feel so cool, like I'm taking a stroll on a dark night in the city. I don't know, it seems cinematic in a way, and I love how chill it sounds. That saxophone is just nice. And it also smoothly transitions into the next track, Explorer, which feels very spacey, not really in a vibe sense, but in a way that like I could be listening to this song in space. Just floating around, seeing all the stars and the planets, that kind of thing. That song also graciously fades into another favorite for me on the record, Muscle Memory. This song has a lot of really cool sounds going on with it. The bit where it all just cuts out and has a little beeping sound that speeds up until the song hits you with another climax. It's definitely one of the less listenable songs on the record, I guess, but I love it because of what it does. And it definitely starts what is, in my opinion, the best 3-track run on the record, transitioning into the interlude Harpy Dream, which then goes smoothly into the song Saturnine, which might be my favorite song on the album. I'm not actually sure. This song just slaps. The sample work with the beat is fantastic. I don't really know who Miguel is, but his voice slides over this song and sounds fantastic. The lyrics are very memorable, this chorus is very catchy, and the song doesn't ever really lose me, except maybe towards the end where it just kind of feels like the same heat has been getting a little stale, which is fine, because I don't think it really overstays its welcome. After that, there's The End featuring Thundercat, which is a fine closer. It's kind of cliche calling your closer The End. I don't really need to explain why. And overall, I definitely enjoyed Hyperdrama. It's not like peak music by any sense, but this is definitely the kind of album that you could put on in the background and just vibe to no matter what situation you're in. You're working on something, you could put it on in the background. You're playing a game, you could put it on in the background. You're walking around, you're just going somewhere, you're driving, you could put it on. It's just a nice, fun album to just chill to and vibe to and dance to if you want as well. That's probably what they were going for. And though I do think there's definitely a few points on this album that I just kind of stopped paying attention as much, a lot of the album can blend into itself at times. The highlights on this record definitely make it worth coming back to. And if you give a lot of these songs time, they will definitely grow a bit of distinction on you. And I know lyrically there's not a whole lot to go off of with this record, and when there is, there's nothing really deep to extract out of them. But this album isn't trying to be deep. This album is trying to be fun. This album is trying to be danceable, and it succeeds at that, to be honest. In terms of what I'd give the album, I'm thinking a B+. It's not crazy great, but it's very fun, it's very listenable, and I'll be returning to this one a lot. And you should give it a listen if you haven't heard it already. But what do you guys think? If you like this video, leave a like down below, comment what you think if you have heard it, subscribe if you want to see more, and hit the bell icon to know when that more comes out. And yeah, that's all from me. See you guys in the next one. Adios.